This is Bob Barker, and you're listening to Animal House Radio with Aaron and Dr. Mike.
All right.
So, okay, Dr. Mike, got a question for you first and foremost, because I love this topic. What are obviously the most common signs and the common types of parasites in dogs and cats? Because, I mean, obviously parasites come out. And I remember my dog, Romeo, actually the one thing that I can remember he had worms. When he was a puppy.
Yeah.
And I remember he had worms, and we actually saw them wiggling around it. You're like, ah!
Yeah,
is that a form of parasite?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, so there you go. I have officially been involved with a parasite-ridden dog. So
Did they look like this?
yeah, but they were smaller, but they were moving. They weren't dead when they came out.
No, it's kind of scary, isn't it?
Oh,
So your dog probably had roundworm, which is the most common parasite.
roundworms.
Yeah, roundworm
Yeah.
is the most common parasite in dogs, but the other ones are hookworms, tapeworms. They can get whipworms. Those are little suckers. Those are tough to get rid of. And then there's two types of single-celled protozoan-type parasites. They're not actually worms, but they're very common. One's called Giardia, and the other one's called Coccidia. Now, Giardia is an interesting parasite. We call it beaver fever. And the reason why it's called beaver fever...
I've seen the movie many times.
God. All right. How did I know you were going to say something? The reason why I call it beaver fever is because beavers obviously have dams, and around dams there's... Will you quit laughing so I can explain what it means? There are stagnant pools of water, and people would drink from those stagnant pools of water, and they would get this parasite called Giardia, and they'd get a really severe gastrointestinal signs. We see this parasite a lot in Mexico. A lot of you who go down there and get Montezuma's Revenge, you probably have Giardia. So it's a parasite that can infect dogs and cats, and also
Lots of beaver fever in Mexico.
Can also affect humans. Okay, you done laughing there. Continue on.
No, but you know,
so those are the top ones.
Oh wow!
And the best way to diagnose these guys. Do you know what the best way to diagnose these types of parasites are?
Okay, obviously you take them in, but I mean, in my case, from experience, you see something
yes.
and you, whoa, it's like spaghetti, you know?
Right.
It's like,
and that's exactly how people describe roundworms. They look like spaghetti. So if you see spaghetti on the floor and it's moving, that's not spaghetti. That's roundworms. That's
you know,
gross.
once Romeo had his treated, and I remember this, and I remember just being disgusted by this. He would go to the bathroom and they weren't moving anymore, and it was really like, oh, they're dying.
That's gross. But,
yeah.
So sometimes you can actually see them physically, and people come in and go, "Oh my lord, I found they're spaghetti worms in my
And someone told me that sometimes you can see them like coming out of the back end, just like peeking their head out and saying, "Hey, what's going on out there?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm going to go back in."
Yeah.
You know, it's
the other parasite you can see is tapeworms, and tapeworms the way
people can get
describe,
tapeworms.
Yeah, that's right. From eating.
I had them several weeks ago.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking a lot of people would love to have tapeworms. It's a good way to lose weight.
I know.
You know,
give me some tapeworms.
But the way you notice tapeworms in dogs and cats is they look like little grains of rice, and what they are is tapeworms don't shed eggs; they shed packets of eggs. And the little packets look like little pieces of rice. So if you ever notice a little bits of rice around your dog's butt, like I've had people literally come in and say, I didn't feed my dog rice, but there's a whole bunch of rice pellets around his bum, and of course the dog has tapeworms. So I find it interesting how people, perceive something.
Well, hey, it looks like rice.
I didn't feed my dog pasta, but boy, he's got all these spaghetti things.
Well, hey, if it's rice, you can think the dog sat down near some rice.
Right. Now, when you end up, Romeo must have been infested, because when you get them, when adult worms are actually coming out, that means the stomach is so full of worms that they're actually falling off.
They were small. He was a puppy. They wasn't like huge spaghetti ones. They were like this.
No, but when adult worms, I'm saying, start coming out, it means that they have a heavy infestation.
Yeah.
Like there's lots of the adult worms, whether they're small or not. If they're falling out, it means they ain't hanging on anymore, which means there's enough of them that they're competing so much.
Well, I've heard, that's what I heard.
Yes.
I heard that people told me stories like, they'd be popping out and stuff like that. I mean, in Romeo's case, it was just, he'd go to the bathroom and you see it afterwards. And I remember it's one of those things where you're just absolutely disgusted by.
I know.
And because it's just,
and we'll talk about,
you feel like someone's invaded your dog.
It's gross.
like an alien.
Yeah.
Hold on, what was that? Janelle says she's suffering from the same thing right now. Janelle, that's fine. And Lisa as well. This is normally what happens in rural Saskatchewan and Calgary. Yeah.
Okay, he's going to get beaten up after the show. So, now, I will tell you that 95% of the times, animals who are positive for parasites, you don't see them visibly, like you saw it in Romeo. We end up checking a sample of their stool.
Yep.
We send it off to the lab. They spit it down, they centrifuge it down, and they look under the microscope. And what they're looking for isn't the adult worms. They're looking for the eggs of the worms, because a lot of these parasites will shed Did you know that here's a little trivia, a little interesting topic. Roundworms shed 100,000 eggs a day. That is scary. So if your little puppy has roundworms and they're pooping and you're not cleaning up, there are hundreds of thousands of eggs being spread in the environment.
Just got an email at info@animalhouseradio.com from Amy in Chicago saying, this is a really gross topic.
Yes.
I'm kind of...
Sorry, Amy.
No, she wrote, I'm kind of getting red-faced here.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if that means she's drinking now because it's such a gross topic. Yeah. Well, hey, listen, this was Dr. Mike's topic, okay, Amy?
Well, I think people need to know about it, especially a lot of you out there who have kittens and puppies. It's important to know that you have to look for these kind of things, and it's really, really vital that you take a sample. Every puppy and every kitten should be dewormed, and every puppy and kitten should have a sample of their stool examined.
Of course.
Okay? So what's the problem with some of these stool tests? The problem with the stool tests is certain parasites don't shed all the time.
Yep.
So if they're not shedding, sometimes you will have an animal that has a parasite and it's not showing up in the stool sample. And that particular type of parasite is called Giardia. A lot of times they say that you can't really diagnose a dog with Giardia unless you've done 3 negative stool samples. So I just like to sometimes just deworm for that parasite, and I'm suspicious of that.
We have another email from this topic is getting everybody. I have another email from Joe, the store manager at Best Buy Downsview, saying this is a gross topic. If Dr. Mike leaves the show next week, can I be the co-host because I've got better manners than Dr. Mike, and my kids are trying to eat spaghetti and pasta right now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You are offending every single Italian home. What you gonna do? This is the way it is, okay?
It's real stuff. What are you gonna do? It's gross, but you
this is real life, okay?
It's awareness.
This is real life, Joe.
Yeah.
This isn't a TV you plug in. This is real life. Domino's Pizza always feeds us. That's right. That's all I'm gonna say. So, anyways, more questions. What are the signs that you're gonna see in animals that are really, let's say, they're infested? You know, like the animals are really sick with this, and maybe you don't see these things coming out. Right. What are the other signs?
Well, the simple signs when they have a mild infestation is sometimes these guys get a bit of a pot belly. A lot of puppies come in these pot bellies and their coats kind of, I don't know, did Romy have that? Because some dogs have pot bellies anyway, puppies. Yeah. But when they definitely have worms, they definitely have a pot belly. When they're really infested, sometimes they can have gastrointestinal signs like diarrhea, vomiting.
Romeo's bald, right in his belly?
Yes.
No hair there. He's never had hair there.
Sometimes dogs have that.
Yeah. But someone told me it was because he had a hernia.
Really? Did he have a hernia?
I have no idea.
Oh, well, there you go. You would have known that better than me.
Yeah, I would have.
Yes.
It was a long time ago.
Long time ago.
So anyways,
that's the thing. They get pot-bellied and they get a dull hair coat. So if you have a puppy or a kitten and you're noticing that their belly's a little big and their coat just doesn't look very, it looks lackluster, that would be a sign.
According to, we're getting bombarded right now at info@animalhouseradio.com. Mike is sweating right now. He's like, oh no, what did I do? Amy in Chicago writes, no, sorry, Joe from Best Buy. I will be the co-host with Aaron. People are fighting over...
See, they're not even fighting about the parasite thing now. They just want to be your co-host.
Well, no, she wrote before that she thought it was gross.
Okay.
I agree, it's gross, but it's an informative topic.
Yes, informative.
I think it's very informative. This is
What's
great.
even more informative is when we get on to talking about how they're transmitted and how people can get them. Boy, then you'll really...
People can get them from dogs?
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. I'm going to pull some old, hazing tricks right now on Richmond. Richmond's going to go, oh, I keep eating and I keep losing weight. You know why, brother? You're going to know why. So tell me, okay, I want to skip everything else and go right to that part.
The human part.
Exactly.
Okay,
well, tell me.
Two parasites that humans can get from dogs is roundworms and hookworms. Okay, those are both transmitted to people. Okay. And the way they're transmitted is these dogs poo, and they have the eggs in there. Sorry, I don't mean to be,
Yeah.
And let's say it's in the soil. And then some lovely little kid goes out and plays in the sandbox, and the dog pooed there. No one cleaned it up, and all of a sudden their hand touches... maybe not even the poo, but the eggs that are sitting in the sand because they're very sticky, the eggs. And then the kid, of course, does the typical hand-to-mouth thing, and then the eggs go in and they hatch inside the kid. And children get, it's gross, but they get this thing called ocular larval migrans or visceral larval migrans where these little worms set up in their eyes and in some of their organs. Now, in the States, I don't know what the data is in Canada, and I'll be honest with you, in all the years I've been doing veterinary medicine, I've never seen a child or a human come down with this. But in the States, there's a large number of people every year that get these visceral larval migrans or ocular larval migrans. It's gross. And I've seen pictures. I gotta tell you, it's sick. It's really bad. And hookworms, the same thing. The hookworms are even worse. Check out this picture. I'm going to show Aaron a picture of a hookworm, electron microscope of a hookworm.